Welcome to your level 1 desk mobility routine. This is simple. We're going to promote blood flow, take a few joints through a large range of motion. It's going to help you feel more energized, and you're going to be able to do all of this from your seat at the office because I don't want you to have to stand up and again disrupt anybody. This is something super simple you can put on in the background and just follow. So without any further ado, let's get started. First, let's start with our spine. Let's think of a couple ranges of motion we can take our spine. So we can do flexion, extension, side bend, rotation. So let's start with side bend. So the first thing I want us to do is we're going to grab onto the side of our chair. Depending on the chair, you can grab onto the front, the side, whatever you have. And I just want us to bend to the side and reach our opposite arm over our head. If we don't feel comfortable doing that, we can reach down our back. And again, we're still going to be able to stretch out our lat. And again, all I'm thinking of is big side bend here. I'm trying to stay upright, neutral spine. 3 breaths. Every breath I take, I get a little bit more side bend. I get to stretch my lat, my QL. Go to the other side, my erectors. Deep breath, side bend. Again, you can reach your hand down toward the floor. Arm on the other side of your leg. Okay, good. Next, let's work on a little rotation. While sitting in my chair, again, nice vertical spine. I'm going to rotate and grab onto one leg as leverage, push onto the opposite knee, kind of hold myself in place, and then wrap my arm around the back of my chair. Again, neutral spine. We don't want to be rounded forward into flexion. As I'm here, I also think of rotating my shoulder externally. 3 deep breaths again. Okay, switch sides. Upright. Again, I want this to be rather discreet. I want everyone to feel comfortable. If they're in a public workplace, that it's not shameful for you to be stretching and doing these things, right? It's something quick and easy that we can all do. Next, let's work on thoracic, lumbar extension and flexion. So you're going to do cat-cows. So while I'm sitting in my chair, I'm going to think about going into extension, arching my lower back, and then tilting my pelvis, and then rounding the other way. I'm going to do 10 repetitions while seated. I'm just getting a little bit of movement in my pelvis. This is going to feel really good on my lower back. Again, we've been stuck in one position. It might be extension as we're sitting. We might be rounded into flexion. Again, it's important we can just get as much movement in as we can from a seated position. Okay, next. We're going to work on some neck health. We're going to work our way down the body now that we're finished with the spine. I'm going to hold on to the side of my chair. I'm going to retract my shoulder blades and push them down. From here, as I'm holding on to my chair, I'm pulling up, creating some tension here, and I'm turning my neck to the right. Again, from the side, pulling, my shoulder blades getting pulled down, and then I turn my neck, 3 deep breaths. If you don't feel much as you're turning your neck to the right, you can look down and to the right. But again, you got to have something to hold on to. Okay, opposite side. Hold on to the chair. Shoulder blade down and back. Good positioning. Head over. Look down. I get a little more stretch when I'm over and down. Feel this all throughout here on my neck. While we sit, we usually elevate our shoulder blades and our traps get really tight. Okay, good. Next, I want us to work on a prayer pose for our upper back and our thoracic spine. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands on my desk, I'm going to scoop my chair back, and I'm just going to let my torso fall down to the floor. Again, stretching out my lumbar. If you lock out your legs, you can work on your hamstrings, and I get to take my shoulders through a large range of motion. 3 seconds here. Every deep breath I take, I'm just letting my chest fall forward more. If you feel comfortable kneeling on the ground and hopping up from your chair, you'll get even more range of motion there. Next, let's continue to work down our body. Let's work on our shoulders. I'm going to take my hands and go behind my back, but I'm also going to scoop myself to the edge of my seat. From here, I retract my shoulder blades, I hinge forward, and then while I'm again stretching out my lower back and my hamstrings, I lift my arms up as high as I can. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can just sit in your seat upright, pull your hands back, push against your chair. Most important part, you feel comfortable and you don't feel like people are going to judge you. But again, it's important that we do this, so I wish that wasn't how people thought. Deep breaths. If you work from home, this is even better because you can do this from anywhere and no one's going to care, unless you're on a Zoom meeting. Okay, Next, let's work on our pecs. So while sitting in my seat, I'm going to take my hands, put them behind my head. From here, I'm going to try to get my elbows back as far as I can, and then I'm going to push my head into my hands. I'm pushing my neck back. I take deep breaths, and again, I just keep pulling my elbows back as far as I can. 3 deep breaths. This is also great for neck health because of our forward head posture. Tucking your chin back, great for it. Okay, next, we're going to keep working our way down. Now we're on our lower body. Let's go to our glute. I'm going to take one leg, and I'm going to fold it over the other top knee. From here, I'm just going to sit forward, and I get to stretch my glute. Now, depending on how mobile you are, you only might look like this. It might be really challenging for you to get in this position. So again, whatever you need to do, whichever direction you need to lay, but we're going to take 3 deep breaths on each side. Again, try to maintain somewhat of a neutral spine. The rounding isn't going to help you get into a better stretched position. Okay. Again, deep breaths. We're almost finished. Again, if you can do this stuff while you're working, please, that's perfect world scenario. You can just do this throughout the day. It's not going to do as good as standing and getting through movement, but again, wonderful. Okay, next up, hamstring stretch. Sitting at the edge of your chair, we're just going to reach all the way down, try to touch our toes. Big stretch to the back of our legs, 3 deep breaths. Careful coming up, don't hit your head on your desk. Maybe a little rotation here as well. All right, and that's pretty much it. If you have a hand extensor tool, I would stick your hands in this, and this is a great reminder. Again, we're in flexion all day with our wrists and our hands. Our hands start to lose some strength for opening. So again, this hand extensor tool, I can just do a set of 30 seconds per side. As I have my hand open, I just try to go into wrist flexion and extension, and that's it. Finish up with that 30 seconds per side if you have it, and that's it, guys. We'll do this a couple of times throughout the day, and at least you're getting some blood flow throughout your body. So thanks for joining. Have a great day. Be productive and get some stuff done.